Ken Johnston was a NASA test pilot in the 1960s, but later, when he was the Johnson Space Flight Center's director of the Data and Photo Control Department, he claims that on one of the lunar missions, the astronauts returned with fascinating photographs. They were domes and bases, however. What's even more disturbing is that, according to Ken, when he questioned his employer about the pictures, he was told to cease. After an argument between the two, Ken was eventually told to throw away those photos. But why? What are they trying to cover up? Ken is not the only individual who thinks there has been moon-based extraterrestrial activity. Look at this picture. Some people think that these resemble car tracks. Where did these things come from is the question. Reporter Alexis Brooks claims that this might be evidence of the creation of a long-gone interplanetary, the so-called Anunnaki culture. Their technology is essential to the buildings that are still standing today, such as the pyramids. Therefore, the question is, did these ancient people establish a foundation? On the moon, ancient traditions are where the Anunnaki initially made their appearance. Jonathan Hill, a Mars mission planner, looked at the photos of those odd tracks on the moon and immediately thought that although they were too perfectly straight to be rocks, they were the result of boulders. At that point, he put up the hypothesis that it might have been another lunar rover, possibly one dispatched to the moon by the Soviet Lunokhod in 1970, proving that the United States wasn't the only country to send lunar rovers there. We don't have evidence that the Anunnaki ever traveled to the moon, but we do know that the lunar bases aren't made by aliens, while the mystery tracks appear to be human-made. The bases are natural formations, and the tracks are probably those of a lunar rover, is our conclusion. Kletsky Chase, a forensics investigator, claims that there is life on Mars. There is tangible proof that Mars formerly had water, as well as scientific proof. Which means if there was water, civilization might easily thrive there. What happened to these lives, then? A nuclear bomb completely destroyed them. That's just one theory, though. We discovered residues of xenon-129, which is a sign of an after-explosion, which led to this. But let's first ask ourselves, was there ever a civilization in the first place, before we lament its demise? Mars mission planner Jonathan Hill thinks there is a psychological explanation for what people think they are seeing on Mars, a phenomena known as pareidolia, after years of research on the red planet and claims of incredible structures there. It's essentially the point at which the human brain goes a bit too far and creates patterns where none exist. It's merely an optical illusion. There's no life on Mars. The International Space Station is 250 miles away as of March 2017, above the surface of the Earth. On a regular spacewalk, 2 astronauts are present to carry out upkeep. Peggy Whitson, a NASA flight engineer, records their mission and in the process manages to capture something extraordinary. There appears to be an odd thing following the ISS. Everyone thought it was a UFO or an alien satellite spying on us. But after much investigation and study, it was discovered that the UFO was actually an accidentally dropped shield that was intended to be installed on the International Space Station. The shield, a 2-inch thick fabric, is designed to shield the ISS against collisions with space debris. A researcher discovered a metallic disc partially covered in ice in Antarctica in October 2020 while scanning satellite photographs of the continent. According to the hypothesis, an alien spaceship appeared from where it had been left thousands of years earlier. You might wonder why a Martian would stop in Antarctica. Due to the severe sterility of both Antarctica and Mars, it is the atmosphere that is most similar to where they live. We conclude that this spacecraft is really an optical illusion. Therefore you don't need to be concerned about aliens conquering Earth, or should you? NASA launched the Perseverance rover on Mars in March 2021, and it photographed an elliptical figure in the air that it mistook for a bird. Rumors of wildlife on Mars speculated, and intense investigation went about to make a claim. However, after experimenting and investigating, we came to the conclusion that what NASA was actually seeing was a flyaway coating or piece of insulation. Thank you for watching. The more you know, be sure to subscribe, comment, like and share because more amazing content is on the way.